And we Muslims in the Western world, or living under Western culture, living under the influence of westernized government, we Muslims who are living as minorities, we are the wealthiest Muslims. We are the healthiest Muslims. We are the most educated Muslims. We are the most liberated Muslims. But unfortunately, we are the weakest, and we are the quietest, and we are the most afraid. And this is why the situation of Muslims and Islam being misconstrued is so tragic. Because Muslims in other governments, other places, other lands, they cannot stand up and say a word. Not a word. Even they cannot gather as we are gathered tonight. The masjids in those lands are not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The masjids are in the hands of the tyrants, the puppets, those who have been chosen to lead the Muslims, who themselves are mufsideen and fasiqeen and dhalimeen. And those mufsideen, fasiqeen, dhalimeen, munafiqeen, they have killed more Muslims than all the kuffar governments together. Muslim tyrants who have been selected and handpicked by the kuffar themselves have put in prison and killed and repressed more Muslims in the last 100 years than all the kuffar governments have done together. But those Muslims in those countries, and you know what I mean because some of you have come from those countries, you have fled from those countries, or you have been pushed from those countries, and you have come here saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your way here on the boat or on the plane that if you came to a place of safety, you would practice Islam. But once you arrived and Allah gave you the safety, you do nothing except come to the masjid and pray, and you do nothing else. And this is what we need to talk about. No, Islam is not terrorist religion, and the Muslims are not terrorists. Islam is not fanatic religion, and we are not fanatics. Islam is not extremist religion, and we are not extremists. Islam does not allow suicide, and we don't support suicide bombers. This is very clear, but this is not the issue. The issue is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will repay the kuffar for what they say. And He has already said, they intend to blow out and extinguish the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by blowing with their mouths. So what is blowing with their mouths? It is slander. It is lying. It is the manufacturing of mistruths and misinformation. It is the dissemination of their media, which is global and thorough. Newspapers, magazines, cinema, radio, every way they are sending out their words, their images, their sounds. And this is what Allah means by blowing with their mouths. And they're doing everything they can do to enter the hearts of Muslims, to paralyze them, to frighten them, to quiet them, and to tell the rest of the world Islam and Muslims, they are filthy. They are devils. They are dirty. They are heathens. They want to kill you. They want to dominate the world. They are like vermin. They are like rats. And we have to be careful of them, so that when they destroy the Muslim lands and enter the Muslim lands and rob and pillage the Muslims and rape the non-Muslims in those lands, they won't say anything, because they will say they are just rats and they are just vermin and they are just terrorists and they are fanatics, and we have to control them in some way. That's what they do it for. But the issue is, we Muslims, we are right in their faces. We are working with them. We are going to school with them. We are living with them. Our children are being taught by them. And we are eating with them and smiling with them and enjoying their civilization and asking them for asylum and safety. And we are changing our names and bowing our heads as if to say, you are right about what you say about us. But so long as you don't bother me and allow me to become strong and enjoy your society, it's okay. Because silence is consent. If a man came to ask you for your daughter in marriage, if you didn't like him and he was inappropriate for your daughter, but he asked for her hand in marriage and she was present and you said nothing and she said nothing, it means you have accepted. And so the Muslims who say nothing, they have accepted the condition by silence. And by silence they have become in complicity. That means you have been added to the list of people who support what they say by your silence.